Hey guys, welcome back. Another day of happy arting with Mary. I haven't been with you guys for a few days. I think just stress has started to get to me. So I didn't feel like I had anything good to say. So I just kind of hunkered down for a couple days and tried to get myself out of the funk. So here I am. I hope you all are doing well. I have been doing some online shopping, so I thought I'd start with a little show and tell of some of the stuff that I've been getting in the mail. So everything I'm going to show you I got at joggles.com, so I'll drop a link down below the video. I really like ordering from her because she has lots of products, so you don't have to order from multiple places. Her shipping is really reasonable, and she ships super fast. Like pretty much all of my orders, unless I order in the middle of the night, get shipped out the same day. So I have it in just a couple days, so I love that. So the first things I'm going to show you are I ordered some new Tim Holtz products because I've been seeing them on the videos. So the first one is Tim's quote chips. He had these a couple years ago and I love them, and I like to use them in my journals and all around in books. So I was glad that there was a new set, and these tend to have longer quotes on them than his other ones. So I like that variety, and I also like that there's more smaller fonts. The last set I felt like had a lot of this really large bold font, so I didn't use those as much. I tended to use these smaller ones, so I'm glad to see that there's a large selection of smaller ones this time. And then I saw Paula Cheney make one of these little display domes, and so I had to have one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with any of this stuff. But it was cute, and you know Tim's stuff sells out and then you can't get it. But look at this. I mean, how cute is that? So you've got your little cork base, and then your dome fits right on top of it, and you can create a little scene in there, or who knows. Maybe I'll do this one day on an arting video so you can see what I end up doing with it. And then I ordered these. They are matchboxes, the old-fashioned matchboxes, and they come with some ephemera labels that I may or may not use in here. But I just thought these would be really cute to make little books, because I'm obsessed with little books still. But to pop a little accordion book in there, how cute would that be? So I went ahead and ordered those. And then the last thing at Tim's I got was the vignette shrine. So I love his vignette boxes that are this wood, and they come with different levels of shelves and things. But this one's a little house-shaped one. So I thought, how cute is that? This looks like a very Paula-esque setup here, so that may be in hers too. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but now I have it. And then I ordered some more stencils. I've been buying, lately I bought a lot of larger stencils, like before Whimsidoodle closed, but I don't have a huge selection of smaller stencils, so I thought, well, let's go ahead and go through. So, new one from Balzer Designs. I really liked that kind of doodly pattern. And then this one, oh, so let's see, what's this one called? This is the 6x6 Circle Jumble, was the first one. And then this next one that has like the raindrops I thought was really cool. It's 6x6 Explosion. And then this one is from Crafty Chica. She loves Frida as much as I do. So when I saw the stencil, I had to have it. I still have a Donna Downey Frida stencil, but it's a larger one. I think it's probably 9x9. So this will be a nice smaller one that I can use too. She has some really cool stencils, so I may have to order a few more of these. And then this is a company I haven't ordered their stencils before, called Darkroom Door. But I've seen a lot of people using their stamps, so when I saw this one pop up, I thought this was really cool to do border patterns, like in my art journal. I could always doodle them, but so this is the 4.5 by 6 inch grunge borders. But I thought that would be really cool to use, especially some of the smaller journals I have, like Dina's little watercolor journal. And then last one is a Dina stencil. I'm pretty sure this is an old one, since most of her stencils come from Ranger now. This one's from the Crafter's Workshop, but I was looking for something kind of fern-ish, and this one popped up. So, and ironically, it's called Mini 4 Ferns. So this is an older one, I can tell by the picture, but it's still out there for Joggles. So that's what I did get one other thing. So this is all from Joggles, everything I've shown you already. And then one of my favorite pencils to use is the Blackwing pencils. If you've never tried them, you need to. And you know it's a Blackwing because they have these rectangular erasers on them. If you can see that. There. So it's a rectangular eraser, and I just love the lead in these for sketching. And I have a black one, I have a gray one. I may have another color that I bought because Whimsidoodle used to sell them. But a friend sent me these because, number one, they're teal. And they're also a tribute to Hawaii. So it's their limited edition pencil. Unfortunately, you could only order them by the box. So now I have a whole box of, look at those. Aren't they pretty? I may have to put them like in a glass jar just so I can stare at them. But I did go ahead and buy those. And I bought those from a local paper store called the Paper Seahorse. I have their card right here that they sent. So it's called the Paper Seahorse. I'll drop a link in there also, so that if you want to order from them, they have some great stuff online. So their website is just paperseahorse.com. And again, it was fast shipping for me. They're in Tampa, so I'm not sure how their shipping runs normally. So that is the end of the show and tell portion of the day, or at least for stuff that I've bought. Now I need to figure out where to put it. So the other thing I've been doing is I've been going through a lot of my magazines, because I still get magazines. I don't get a huge number of them, but I still get 3 or 4 magazines. I always get Vogue and InStyle and W, but those go straight into my art studio because I use them for image transfers and collage and things like that. I don't actually look through them. My wardrobe basically is a black shirt and leggings every day, so I don't really need Vogue. But some other magazines I do get. I get a Mindful magazine, I get Oprah, and I get, I think it's HGTV, one of the home decorating. So I like to go through my magazines, and I was trying to clear them out, but I was going through and cutting out things that I thought I would use. So I've just gone through anything that I think I might use for a collage. I just went ahead and cut out, and then I recycled the magazines. So some of these I kept out to show you. You may think, what, Mary, why are you keeping a picture of cookies? But my thought was, if I use a strip of that in a collage, you may not know it's cookies, especially like if I put it this way. So I tend to look for interesting patterns or textures that I think I might want to use. Same with this little bed of sprouts. But to me, if I take a little section, a little strip of that, that's really interesting to me. So I tend to go through and I look for things like the difference here between this denim and the flowers. I love that. So I'll probably cut, you know, maybe an 1.5 inch strip of this, and it'll show up somewhere. But so I tend to keep stuff like this in my collage basket. Now this lady, I just had to keep her because she looks so happy. So she's not going to get cut into strips. She's going to stay whole. So here's another example, pattern and texture that I love. This was a dress that somebody, so her shoulders are up here. So I cut out her dress because I just thought it was really interesting. Some things I keep, like this, I think would be cool to recreate in my sketch journal, just to play around. I'm trying to get into the urban sketching, so I thought that would be fun. I'm not going to show all of these to you, but this one is all about stuff that is found in the ocean, plastic that's found in the ocean. But I may just glue that down the way it is as a background. But so when you look through your magazines, don't necessarily think, oh, I want to cut that out and glue it down. Sometimes it may just be a pattern that you see. Like here's a great example. It was a model in a leopard dress standing on a leopard background. But if I'm cutting a strip of that, to me, that's cool. So look at other ways you can use. And then again, some of them I save because I have hopes that my jelly plate transfers are going to come out at some point. Just looking to see if there's any other. I want to cut all these flowers out, so I had to keep those. Oh, and this little guy, look at him. I think I'm going to end up cutting him out and laminating him and making him into a little clip that goes on the top of my journal. So I usually do have ideas of what I want to do with stuff, but sometimes I don't even, now I don't remember why I cut that out, but again, good texture. We'll see where they end up. So if I end up using any of these on a video, I'll make sure to point it out. And then today really is a show and tell day. I have been doing stuff, even though I haven't felt like talking and I felt like I was kind of grumpy. I have been doing things. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the other day I made a bunch of paper that was dyed with red cabbage. So I just wanted to show you a little more in person. And I think what I'm going to work on today is actually a little tag book. So I want to use these tags because look at them. They're just so cool. I just love how they turned out. And one thing, if you smell them and you know that they're dyed with cabbage, they have a very slight cabbage smell. But if I didn't know it was cabbage, yes, I am smelling everything as I talk to you. If I didn't know it was cabbage, I would know that there was a scent, but I wouldn't be able to place it. So these don't scream cabbage. But I love how everything came out different. So I used the same dye, except this yellow is actually turmeric that I would drop onto the wet page before I dried them. So that's what made the yellow. But every other color, all these blues and even teal. Look at this. This is the same dye as that. It's very cool to me. And I still have a pitcher of dye in my fridge, which I have warned both my husband and son is not grape juice, because they will be pleasantly surprised if they try to take a drink of it. So some of these, like for example, this was graph paper. The graph is completely gone. I think some of the blue dye is still on there, but to me that's just an amazing page. But then how did that happen? And so they're all different papers. This is more like a heavy cardstock. This is a construction paper. I mean, so I just tried all different papers. This is just computer paper. I don't know how it made those. And then of course the yellow again is the turmeric. So this was a class I took from Robin Marie Smith. So if you're interested, it's completely different than any other eco dyeing because she uses her oven. So I don't know if that is what helps create some of these effects. And some of the things that I did were not in the class. Surprise, surprise. So for example, this page, I went ahead and dyed the cardstock. I dyed a paper doily, and then I put them in the oven together, and I dried them about halfway, and then I separated them and let them dry the rest of the way, and so it left the imprint of the doily on the page, but then I still have the doily I can use for other stuff. So it was really interesting. Oh, and I think this may be my favorite one. So I took drywall tape because it's paper on one side, and I dyed it. Again, yellow is turmeric, but every other color that's on here, the blues and purples and even shades of purple, is just from the red cabbage. So I don't think I could ever recreate exactly what I did again, because I don't know how I did it. I mean, I just stuck paper in a dye bath and it came out. Oh, and I did do one piece of fabric. Look at that. This was just an off-white piece of muslin. And I went ahead and dyed that because I'm going to cut it up and use it for ribbons, like on tags. Maybe on this tag book. I just thought it was really cool. So I have this nice stack of paper now. So some of my patrons on Patreon who get the ephemera pack, guess what you're getting this month? That's right, you're getting some lovely dyed paper. And just listen to it. Oh, it's so crinkly, and anyway, I love it. Oh, and by the way, this is the same dye. I don't know how it made this red rusty color. These are just paper streamers like you would buy at a party store. They were white and I dyed them, and for some reason they came out a little bit purple, but lots of rust color too. So I don't know how that happened. So it was all about the type of paper I used. That's what it came down to. So today I wanted to play around with, I told you, the tag book. I don't know if I'm going to use these right now. These actually I need to iron because they're still pretty crinkly. So I'll probably go ahead and iron those before I use them. But I've been going through my studio, and one thing I keep finding is that I have lots of these Dina tags, which I love, but I tend to use the bags of the large, I think they're number 10 tags. I use those up like there's no tomorrow. So now I have like 8 packages of these, which are the number 3s and the number 5s. So I thought, well, I should just make a little tag book. So that's what I'm going to do. And I probably won't finish it here, but you'll see the beginning, and maybe I'll finish it tomorrow or the next week. So I'm just going to see how many are in here. Oh, there's 5. That's a good number for a book. This will create a nice little chunky book. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those. And you can use any tags. The reason I like Dina's tags is because they're slightly slippery. So I don't feel that I have to gesso them if I don't want to. And they're also pure white. Because most of the shipping tags that you order are kind of that manila folder color. And so I always feel like I need to gesso them because this yellowish color kind of changes the colors of the paint that you use unless you're using like a really opaque paint on them. And it's really hard to leave white space on a cream colored or a yellow colored. So, not that I'm good about leaving white space, but I hear that you're supposed to. But so I really love these tags. And that's why I buy lots and lots and lots of them. So to make my little book, I'm also going to use, I'm not sure if this is still available, but it's Dina's media tape. So it's like washi tape, but it's completely plain, and it comes in 3 different sizes in this box. I feel like today is a Dina commercial, but it usually is. So you have 3 different sizes depending on what you need it for. I like this tape because you can stamp on it and then make your own washi tape, or you can even paint on it and make your own washi tape. But today I'm going to use it because it's really thin. So when I'm attaching the pieces of my book and then I paint over it, I'm not going to have a big bump like I would if I was using, I would normally use masking tape. But masking tape's that a little bit thicker, and even artist tape is thicker. So I'm not going to get that kind of smooth appearance that I really would want. So I'm going to go ahead and get my book put together. So I'm just going to start, this is going to be my front page, so I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to place page 2 next to it. I want to line them up. But I'm going to leave just a little gap. I don't know what that is. It's like a thick fingernail length amount. You all know I'm not good at measurements, so I have one end of the tape that's cut I'm just going to place it down. It all stayed in place. Yay! And then I'll trim the end off. And I notice now that the tags are slightly not lined up. So the other nice thing, because this is like washi tape, I can just kind of peel it off. And I can line that edge back up again. Get my little bit of gap and then stick it down. So that's page 1. Then you open and you have page 2. So I'm going to close page 2, set it down, and put page 3 next to it. Now you can do this accordion style too if you want, where they just all open up. But today I decided to be different and just go ahead and create more of a book style. So I learned from page 1 and 2 that I should just put the tape on one side, trim it, and then line it up. This does make it easier. So, learning on the fly. So now you have page 2, page 3. We'll close page 3. And you can kind of align them. I'm going to do a binding on the end, on the outside when I'm done. So that'll help line them up too. So now I have the back of page 3 and the beginning of page 4. Put my tape down again. And you can do this with any number of pages. If you're going to go for a thicker book, you'll want to leave more space in between your tags as you're taping them together. And not a huge amount, but maybe, you know, a fingernail plus some, so that it has enough room to close correctly. Yes. Making sure I was getting on the right side. So I'm lining up top and bottom ends, leaving that little gap. Press it down, close that one, and then for our last page. So tape will go on the back of page 4. Flip it over, line up page 5 with the top and bottom. And close it. So now I have all of these pages attached. But like I said, now I have, so if you touch this right now, it's kind of sticky because of the tape that's in there. So I'm going to take another piece of my washi tape. Try to cut it as straight as I can. And I'm just going to wrap this around to create my spine. So that will help reinforce and keep all the pages lined up. It also covers all the stickiness. And so now it opens nice and smooth, and it really feels like it's going to stay together. Now I'm just going to trim these little corners here, I think, because I think that's going to bother me. So I'm just going to cut little V's. Oh yeah, that's much better. If you're not like me, then that probably doesn't bother you, but it would drive me crazy. So, got those all trimmed. Put my tape away for now. So I know I'm going to cover these with Dina's gloss sprays. I had already decided that. But I think I want to add maybe some drywall tape in spots before, because we know I love drywall tape. And I do realize this is going to be a multiple day project, so let's see how much we can get done today. Let me grab some drywall tape off of my wall. Alright. So, as usual, I don't ever use a whole piece of it. I like to tear it in kind of some sort of shape. Tearing it also, if you have this paper drywall tape. Yeah, so by the way, this is old-fashioned paper drywall tape. If you search for drywall tape, say on Amazon, or most of the time it's going to be fiberglass tape, because that's what the drywallers use now, because it's easier. You don't want that. This is the old-fashioned drywall tape that they used to use, and I sometimes have luck finding it at a smaller hardware store. In my neighborhood, it's at Ace Hardware. They sometimes have it. Sometimes they don't, but they sometimes have it. And one time I even asked about it, and they ordered it for me. And it didn't cost me anymore. I just had to wait for it to get there. So, but when you get it, you get a roll of like 500 feet. So you'll probably never have to buy it again. But I just like using these little bits and pieces. So the part I'm peeling off, it's self-adhesive. So I'm peeling the back off. But you know I'm going to keep these little bits and pieces because, you know, we might need them. Who knows? They may be currency in the future world. I don't know. If we get down to the point that drywall tape is currency, I am going to be the richest woman in the world. Because I tend to buy. I said that you guys would never have to buy another roll, but I am on like my 5th roll. Mainly, I do give it away. I take it to workshops, and I also usually include some in ephemera packs that go out to patrons, so I do share. But I also use a lot of drywall tape. I just like it. I even use it to stencil through if I want little polka dots. It's a great thing just to stencil through, so I use it for lots of stuff. So I'm just going to add little bits and pieces. I just like how it adds the texture. I'm going to warn you right now, I hear the mailman. My dogs are sleeping, but they do have a 6th sense where they can tell when the mailman gets here. So all hell may be breaking loose at any moment. So I'm just warning you, keep your finger near the volume so you can turn it down really quickly. Hopefully they'll just sleep through it. Rose is in her studio bed so she doesn't notice. And hopefully the mailman will be quiet. Depending on who's here, sometimes we have the mailman who likes to slam the mailbox lid. I live in an old neighborhood, so our mailboxes are still on the house. So he has to actually walk up to the house and put it in the box that's attached to my house. Oh, he made it through. No dogs. You all are lucky. Alright, so sometimes this can be a pain. I'll tell you, the drywall tape, you do want to tear it because it does make it a little easier. And sometimes if I just can't find anything, I just tear it again. Again, you have 500 feet of it. You can waste a tiny bit if you need to. But just so you know, when you're peeling it, the piece that you're peeling off is brown on both sides. Sometimes I start peeling and it's still white. That means that you're pulling the adhesive off of the strip. Which, if that happens, just, you know, run a glue stick over it. You can still use it. But I usually catch myself and I'm able to stop and fix it and use that piece again. I know this is fun watching me peel drywall tape, but we're almost done. I think today I'm just going to do this on the book. Like I said, I know I want to use sprays, so maybe I'll save that for tomorrow. Who knows, the mailman may have bought another package of art goodies that I've forgotten that I ordered. I tend to order a lot of things at midnight, which may not be the best idea because sometimes I get boxes and I'm like, oh, I remember seeing that on a video, but I didn't realize I ordered it. And I do not drink in the evening, so I think it's just tiredness. And right now I think we're all just trying to find a way that makes us feel better, and buying art supplies always makes me feel better. So that's what I've been doing. Alright, last page. We get our drywall tape on. Now, if you don't have drywall tape, what can you do? Well, I would maybe use masking tape, because again, that's going to add texture. You could use little bits of tissue paper, even white tissue paper that you crumple up and then flatten out a little bit, and you can glue down with your glue stick or gel medium. That's going to add some texture. You could use modeling paste. You can use texture paste. Any of those things that you could put through a stencil. So it's just a way to add texture, because I just am fascinated with the idea of spraying on these, and then that gloss spray is collecting in these little grooves. So anything that gives you texture, I think is going to give you the same look. It's just, for me, drywall tape is really easy. But use whatever you have in your studio. I'm going to put this to the side so I'm not tempted to touch it again. And then next time we're together, we'll go ahead and spray and add on to it from there. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you all are feeling well. I'm hoping these videos make you a little happier and give you something to look forward to. There's lots of artists that are doing videos right now, so look for them. Find something to make yourself happy. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. And I'll see you later. Happy arting.